Okay, please excuse my voice. I'm a little hoarse, but I'm going to go ahead and try to record this. This is Anne Frank, Diary of a Young Girl. This is World Literature, page 229. This is an excerpt adapted from Anne Frank's diary that they found after World War II. All right, literary term is the word tone. It's the feeling the author shows toward the subject of the story. Selection vocabulary: mischief is actions that bothers or annoys others. Failings are faults or weaknesses. Reserves are extra supplies, and forbid is to order not to do something. Okay. Children grow up even under difficult conditions. These entries from a young girl's diary show that even during war, teenagers are teenagers. This young girl worries about her family relationships and about how other people think of her. In her diary entries, we see that she learns about herself and other people in spite of the war. On June 12, 1942, Anne Frank celebrated her 13th birthday. She received a diary from her father. She thought of the diary as a friend and named the diary Kitty. A little less than a month later, Anne's family went into hiding. Anne told all her feelings, fears, and thoughts to her diary. On August 4, 1944, the Green Police arrested Anne Frank and the other 7 people in hiding. Someone had given their hiding place away to the Germans. Sometime in March of 1945, Anne and her sister died at Bergen-Belsen, one of Hitler's work camps in Germany. Otto Frank was the only one of the 8 who survived. Miep Gies had collected Anne's writings from the hiding place after the arrest. She gave the diaries and papers to Mr. Frank on the day they learned that Anne was not coming back. So remember, she calls her diary Kitty. So when she writes Dear Kitty, she's actually writing it's like saying Dear Diary. Okay. Monday, 21 September 1942. Dear Kitty, I can't stand Mrs. Van Daan. I get nothing but blow-ups from her. She thinks I talk too much. Now she's making up excuses to get out of washing the pans when it's her turn. I'm busy with Daddy working out his family tree. As we go along, he tells me a little about everyone. It's most interesting. Mr. Kampfhaus brings a few special books for me every other week. School time has begun again. My favorite subject is history. We brought a lot of school books and supplies with us. I'm working hard at my French. Peter sighs and groans over his English. The adults were talking about me. They decided that I wasn't completely stupid after all. Of course, that made me work extra hard the next day. I was just writing something about Mrs. Van Daan when in she came. Slap, I closed the book. She wanted to take a peek anyway, but I wouldn't let her. It gave me quite a shock. Anne expresses her feelings about Mrs. Van Daan, her father, and her studies. These feelings make up the tone of Anne's writing. Okay. The Franks have been in hiding for about 3 months when this entry takes place. Think of reasons why they might be getting on each other's nerves. This is Sunday, September 27th, 1942. Dear Kitty, just had another big blow-up with Mother. We just don't get along these days. It's not going too well between Margaret and me either. We usually don't yell much in our family, but lately Margaret and Mother are getting on my nerves. The Van Daans love to talk about other people's children. Margaret doesn't mind. She's such a goody-goody. I, however, seem to have enough mischief in me for 2. The Van Daans think I'm spoiled. They are always quick to let Mother and Daddy know it. My parents always defend me, but they do tell me I shouldn't talk so much or poke my nose into everything. If Daddy weren't so sweet, I'd be afraid I was a disappointment to them. Monday, the 28th of September, 1942. Dear Kitty, Why do grown-ups quarrel so much, and over the stupidest things? I used to think it was only children who had quarrels. Of course, grown-ups call them discussions. I suppose I should get used to it, but I can't. Not as long as nearly every discussion is about me. Nothing about me is right. They talk about the way I look, my character, my manners. I'm just supposed to take it and be quiet. But I can't. I'll show them. Maybe they'll keep their mouth shut when I start educating them. I'm amazed at their awful manners, and especially Mrs. Van Dan's stupidity. Kitty, if you only knew how angry they make me, I shall just explode one day. Tuesday, November 7th, 1942. Dear Kitty, Mother is in a bad mood. That always means problems for me. Is it just chance that she and Daddy never scold Margaret and always dump on me for everything? Just last evening, I picked up a book Margaret had been reading. When Margaret came back into the room, she had this look. She asked for her book back. Just because I wanted to look at it a little while longer, she got angry. Then Mother jumped in. Give that book to Margaret. She was reading it, she said. Then Daddy came in. He didn't even know what it was about, but he took Margaret's side. I put the book down and left the room. They thought I was angry, but it was only my feelings that were hurt. Anne feels that her parents are unfair. I knew that Mother would stick up for Margaret. She always takes her side. I'm so used to it that I don't care anymore. I love them, but only because they're my mother and sister. With Daddy, it's different. He's the one I look up to. He doesn't notice that he treats Margaret differently from me. I have always been second best. I've always had to pay double for anything I did wrong. First, I'm scolded, and then my feelings get hurt. I won't take it anymore. I want something from Daddy that he's not able to give me. I'm not jealous of Margaret. It's only that I long for Daddy's real love. I don't want him to love me just as his child, but as Anne, myself. Only through Daddy can I feel the least bit of family feeling. He doesn't like it when I talk about Mother's failings. He doesn't want to hear about it. Just the same, I find her failings harder to take than anything else. I don't like always having to call attention to how mean and sloppy she is, but I just can't keep it all to myself. I wish I could only see Mother's good side, but it doesn't work. Neither she nor Daddy understands this empty space in my life. I wonder if parents can ever make their children happy. Anne is upset with herself because she's not able to see the good side of her mother. Sometimes I think that God wants to test me. I must be good on my own with no one to be an example for me. Then later on it will make me strong. From whom but myself will I get comfort? I need comforting. My faults are too great. I know this, and every day I try to make myself better. The way they treat me changes so much. One day they think I'm grown up. The next day I hear that Anne is just a silly little goat. She doesn't know anything. I'm not a baby anymore. I'm not to be laughed at. I have my own plans and ideas. Even though I can't put them into words yet, I'm tired of having no one who understands me. That is why in the end I always come back to my diary, because Kitty is always patient. I'll promise her that I'll be strong. I'll find my own way through it all without crying. I only wish I could sometimes hear a kind word from someone who loves me. When Anne speaks of her friend Kitty, the tone is warm and comforting. Remember, Kitty is her diary. Okay, I'm going to turn the page back and we're going to take a look at this picture. Okay, this is a picture of Anne Frank, and that's a page from her diary. And you can see her writing, and of course it's in German. Sorry, I can't read that to you because I don't read or speak German. Okay. Okay. This is June. Let's notice that on June 12th, 1943, it was Anne's 14th birthday. So they've now been in hiding for for almost a year. Okay, in that very small, cramped area with 8 people living there. Okay. Tuesday, June 15th, 1943. Dear Kitty, Daddy wrote me a sweet poem for my birthday. I got some lovely things. One was a fat book on my favorite subject, the myths of Greece and Rome. There were also a lot of sweets. Everyone broke into their last reserves. As the youngest of our family in hiding, I am more honored than I deserve. We must hand in our radio next month. Kopus has a small secret one at home that he'll let us use. It's a shame to have to hand in our big one, but one can't take any chances of getting caught. The radio has been our source of courage. It helps us say, "Chin up, better times will come." Sunday, June 11, 1943, so about a month later. Dear Kitty, we are back on the upbringing theme again. I really am trying to be helpful and polite. It's very hard to be on such good behavior with people you can't stand, but I really do see that I get along better by pretending a little. Margaret and I have been studying shorthand. Now I have to let it go a bit. I need more time for my other subjects, and I'm also having trouble with my eyes. I have needed glasses for a long time. Yuck, I would look like an owl. Yesterday, Mother talked about sending me to the eye doctor with Mrs. Kopus. Imagine it, going outside on the street. But I don't think it will happen. Now that the British have landed in Sicily, Daddy is hoping for a quick finish. Okay. This is Anne Frank signed the autographed book of her childhood friend Henny. This is a picture of that. You can look at it closer in your book, but this is before she went into hiding. Okay. Ellie gives Margaret and me a lot of office work. It makes us both feel very useful, and it's a big help to her. We take special care to do a good job. Okay. Ellie works in the office downstairs, and she leaves work for the girls to do at night. Going downstairs at night is the only freedom the girls have. Meep is just like a pack mule. Almost every day she finds some vegetables for us. She brings them on her bicycle. We long for Saturdays when our books come. It's just like getting a present. People outside don't know what books mean to us. Reading, learning, and radio are our fun. This is Friday, May 1944, so almost another year now. Dear Kitty, Daddy is not happy with me. He thought that after our talk on Sunday, I wouldn't go upstairs every evening. He's making it very hard for me. I will talk to him today. This is roughly what I want to say. I believe, Daddy, that you're not happy with me. I suppose you want me to be just as a 14-year-old should be, but that's where you're wrong. Since we came here, I have not had an easy time. If you knew how unhappy I felt, how lonely, you would understand that I want to be with Peter. I am now able to live on my own without Mother's help or yours. You can laugh at me and not believe me, but that can't hurt me. I'm only telling you this because I thought that otherwise you might think I was being sneaky. I don't have to explain what I want to do to anyone but myself. Anne and Peter Van Daan have become good friends. Anne seems to think she's the only one who has, quote, not had an easy time since they went into hiding. When I had problems, none of you helped me. You only scolded me about being so loud and foolish. I acted that way only so that I wouldn't be hurting all the time. Now the battle is over. I have won. I am free. I don't need a mother anymore. This battle has made me strong. And now I will go my own way. You must not see me as 14, for all these troubles have made me older. I will not be sorry for what I do. I will act as I think I must. Either forbid me to go upstairs or trust me. Then leave me in peace. Anne's tone in the latter entries is different. She is learning how to handle problems. Okay, so this is Sunday, May 7th, 1944, a couple days later. Dear Kitty, Daddy and I had a long talk yesterday. I cried a lot, and he joined in. On Friday, I wrote what I explained to you in a letter. I put it in his pocket before supper. Margaret told me that he was very upset for the rest of the evening. I was upstairs doing the dishes. Yesterday, he told me that I had done him a great wrong. You, Anne, who have received such love from your parents, can you say that we have not helped you? We've always been ready to help you. We've always defended you. How can you talk of feeling no responsibility to us? Maybe you didn't mean it that way, but that's what you wrote. Oh, this is the worst thing I have ever done. I was only showing off. I was just trying to appear big so that he would respect me. Certainly I've had problems, but to accuse Daddy, who has done so much for me, no, that was too low for words. It's right that my pride has been shaken. I was becoming much too taken up with myself again. The way Daddy has forgiven me makes me feel ashamed of myself. No, Anne, you still have much to learn. I want to start over with him. That can't be hard now that I have Peter. With him to help me, I can and I will. Anne felt that she needed to act grown up to win her father's love and respect. She learns an important lesson. All right, the literature practice. Answer these on the back of your vocabulary paper. Number 1, what complaints does Anne have about Mrs. Van Daan? Number 2, what is the tone of Anne's writing when she writes about her father? Number 3, Anne's father is hurt by a note she writes. How does Anne respond to this? Number 4, what signs are there in these entries that Anne grows up?